Okay, hi everybody, we're back. I've been working on this exploration ship for a little while now, and I'm ready to take a break from it. I've been testing it and realized that with the amount of with any kind of cargo load, I would need to add more thrust. So I'm going to try to just start over, and I want to try making our thruster placement a little more intentional, and also try to get all three thruster types involved in a way that looks planned and not quite so improvised. I started on something doing that with this. I think it's upside down. And was the idea that I came up with, having, vertical thrusters pushing the ship forward, a couple thrusters on the side. Probably need more, but there's no way in this. Well, actually, there is a way in this configuration. I could replace that, so I have different. There we go. Maybe I can. Let's get to our. Let's do that. And do that. There we've got as many side thrusters as we need. Probably only need them in one spot now, so that might be useful. Oh, we still need something there. So depending on where we want to put them. Reverse thrusters. Six in each direction, 4 in each direction. So maybe we could use a curved one on top. And one of those on the bottom. And I think I'm just doing vanilla thrusters this time. Yeah, let's just try to keep our stuff consistent. So here we'd have 4 on each side. I probably wanted to have symmetry on there, but I did not. Oops. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Put a couple more thrusters on the side. So this would be one idea. This is the front of the ship. You've got a door from your front area into your... And I just made this an airlock. Here's our engine room. Got some cute little windows. We probably want large downward thrusters. I'm now realizing if we're going to do anything in gravity, we probably need more than this. And we'll probably need like 4 of them, so... And I think I'm going to revise this too, because... Oops, I want to be doing symmetry. Let's get that turned on now. Get rid of these. So what if we had thrusters coming down off of there? It may make some of that... Oops, it may make some of that piping unnecessary, but let's just see where we're at. Large thruster. It's all the same on every side. Got a little room in between. That should be enough to lift a full cargo container. all those conveyors we could replace with small hydrogen tanks or H2 generators. I've got all that stuff in here. I think I'm going to start from scratch. This is sort of just a prototyping an idea. We've got a hydrogen engine to replenish. Might need more than that, maybe a couple, maybe 2 or 3 coming out of there. About 4 H2 generators. We've got an oxygen tank somewhere. I did this a couple days ago, so there's our air vent for the airlock. Oh, I think, you know what, I was going to put the oxygen generator right in here. I mean, the oxygen tank. So, if we wanted to add another pair of H2 generators, seems like that's never a bad idea. We could put them in here somewhere. Maybe right there. Let's try it. Find my... Here they are, I think. Yeah. So what do we need to do? Oh, that wouldn't work, would it? Unless we modify the downward-facing thrusters. But then what I'm thinking is, even with all this, there's not enough space to put an ion thruster pack. And with these I'm going to use the Warfare. They're just way better looking. Because they stick out. This is as far back as they can go. And I want them to be tucked in more. So in order to do that, I think we need more space. So maybe we put 3 in between each of these instead of just 1, and then build this same essential structure. We've got 4 large hydrogen tanks, which would be enough to power a smallish, or I guess medium-sized large grid ship like that, and then still have plenty of room for thrusters. So why don't we try that? I'm going to try building this over here. And I guess we'll start here. Start with an air vent. Maybe I'll reset up this hotbar. Throw an air vent on there. We need those. We need those. We don't need these yet. What else are we using? Hydrogen engine. That's about it for now. We'll keep the gyro on there to remind us that we need one. Maybe a beacon. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try it from scratch. Just trying to figure out where to start. How about we start here? I'm just going to copy the beginning of it. I can just do it up here. That'll make it easier. So our... Oh, we need that air vent. I'll use this one. Try to orient the indicator in the right way. There we go. And there's our airlock. Okay, a couple of conveyors coming out of there. I'm just going to copy the basic structure of what I did because I like the way it started. Set a couple conveyors, and they connect right into the. Could skip the conveyors. 1 plus 2 is 3, so it's 1 apart, so we would need 6. And I think we probably do need the conveyors. Maybe use T-junctions on that. That's all we need is a reinforced T-junction. Going that way. Let's turn on our symmetry. This will go out to our first set of tanks. Let's put those on there. Something like that. And then we have 3 spaces in between. And here we have our H2s. Let's decide how we want those to orient. Maybe like that. Could do something fancy with turning them around, but I don't think I'm that smart. So here we have 1, 2, and 3. And then 1, 2. In the middle of that, we'll have our other hydrogen tank. So, just so that you can see the vision. And then we can hopefully pack a bunch of thrusters in here. Maybe we do our side hydrogen thrusters vertically, and then we can do side atmos and side ions in there, or something like that. Maybe find a pretty way to do it, make it look like it's by design. Get rid of that little block. So what we have here is forward and back are vertical, sideways are vertical, downward are big, and upward are horizontal. Could also put the large thrusters in there. I want to switch this around a little bit to make it redundant. I like that idea because it raises them up a little bit. I don't like that idea because it leaves less room for other thruster types. Let's see what that would look like. Or I guess these are going to be our potentially that. You only need one really for going forward, but it looks a lot cooler to use two. You could put it in the middle, but then what do you put there? And I also want to decide how much space. Could leave maybe 1 block worth of space in between for more thruster packs. I'm thinking probably only hydrogen will be large thrusters, except for maybe a couple of downward atmospheric thrusters, or upward thrusting, downward facing. So if we do something like that, and then that, yeah, see, the trouble with it is there's no room to put anything in there. So ions, some more ions, or you can, you can't even use those. So I'm not sure if I like that, just because it it cramps up the space quite a lot. Could also put sideways thrusters this way, but then where do you put your downward ones? Like your downward ion. You can do that. And you know, I probably want to continue to add a little more space than I think I need. I like to make my things face a certain way. So something like that, something like that. This is the back of the ship. And then we could do that, or even want to maybe put them up higher. That could be an option, or maybe putting them out to the side. I don't really know yet. That would leave a lot more room. Another thing I like about it is it protects the hydrogen tanks. Ideally, that's even higher. Just screw around with this a little. And then do we want to make room for that? If we do, then we got to go out more here, too. Can put our engines up there. I think. Can't we? Yeah. Like that. I'm just trying to brainstorm like how to really configure I do like that. It protects the hydrogen tanks and it keeps the thrust above ground level quite a bit. And it sort of creates an interesting shape for the ship. So what if we did that twice? I think we're there. I don't know if we need that many. We don't really need that many hydrogen engines, so maybe something else there. Could do more. Could do small hydrogens. They have a similar, or the lab one I think has a similar. Yeah, it looks similar to that. We could do that. Throw this down. And we've still got some straight lines for connecting pipes, which is nice. Backward thrust can go here or up here, probably here. And against I think my intuition is wrong here, so against my intuition I'm going to add a little space. And then we'll throw this one on. Those are the large hydrogen thrusters that I want. Could even do 6. Could actually, you'd have plenty of thrust if we did 6. Could actually throw another set on right there. They're a little crammed together that way, but the nice thing is they do protect the tanks. And maybe maybe put some other types of thrusters on the bottom, just surround the tanks with thrusters. We still need reverse thrust, up and side. There's our sideways thrust. Reverse thrust could be here, or up here, or a combination. Do like diagonal, one there. I don't know. Let's try to keep it simple for now. There's our 6 reverse. 3 sideways. Is that enough? Probably. Maybe not. Of course, having these here will make this area not as usable. So maybe this can be more hydrogen, or even a couple of cargo containers. Already off. Yep. Okay, so somehow that... Oh, I know what happened. I didn't convert it to a ship. Oh, man. Okay, let's try just rebuilding that. Should be able to fit in there just fine. If we want to do that. I'm not sure if we do yet. Alternatively, you could put something in the middle. I think this is going to be ceiling, and we'll have a... Down here is going to be our engine room and floor. Let's see. I had a conveyor here, followed by a couple of those. And then up here, instead of hydrogen, we had an engine. And one of those. And there we go. Now before I mess that up again, let's go to station. What are we going to call this? GK4. GK is my YouTube handle, Geekomancer. I don't know yet. what we're going to name it, but just to have a code for naming when we need it. And I think we can safely get rid of this. Maybe I'll hang on to it. Just move it out of the way a little. There we go. So that's what we have so far. I wanted to have some kind of stairway or something like that to lead into this room. So to make a long story short, maybe in here we've got something resembling an engine room. I was kind of thinking one cargo. If we have two, we might need more thrusters. Another option is we can put it here. That would work. Yeah, probably not a great idea to use this combination. Maybe instead this is where we put our airlock, or yeah, airlock. Where are you, vent? There you are. So there's an air vent. Oh, come on. There's an air vent. There's a pipe that's going out to that. And I'm just completely... Oh yeah, I keep breaking the ship in half. Okay. I might have to start over it once again. So I think maybe here could be where the cargo lives. The question is, are we going to be able to get, because we're considering this an underneath, we would need some way to get through, which means this does need to be even wider, possibly. So there's the back. That'll give us room to walk around. I'm going to come forward 3. Oops. I'll replace these eventually with something nicer. And then we've got that may be our basic shape. Could just make this the spot for thrusters. It's not a terrible idea, leaving some empty space. What if we did that? To reset my symmetry. There we go. Make my conveyors sideways. But if I break them, it'll break the whole ship. There. I really think I only need the middle one, but if we do the sideways and upward ones here, then we've got our thrust handled. For example, I kind of want it to not look all clumped together though. So maybe upward goes somewhere else. Like up here. There's plenty of other options, but there's a lot of room for building stuff within the ship. So, for example, maybe we put our and like that. And like that. Gives it a pretty nice look. The tops of the thrusters are kind of in an even setting, and then you've got some room to do armoring and stuff like that.